Wednesday, July 12, 2017. My name is Bill McCamley. I'm a state representative from Las Cruces and Mesilla in New Mexico. I'm here at you from Indianapolis, Indiana today with your legislative update. So, first of all, I'm in Giordano's Pizzeria. I'm here a day before a conference. And I took some advice from people on Facebook, so I'm going to have some deep dish and see how it goes. Thank you, Brandy. If it's bad, I'll blame you forever. Just kidding. Anyways, so I actually try really hard not to take useless trips out of state. Sometimes it's on the taxpayer's dime. This one's not, but sometimes it is. And when I was a student body president in New Mexico State, people used to go on these sometimes junkets where it was great. We get to go somewhere we've never been before and have a good time, and it's for a conference, but you'd come back with nothing useful. So I really try hard when I go out of state to make sure that whatever I'm learning, whatever projects are being put forward, we develop so I can come back with ideas. As an example, I went to Denver a couple of weeks ago to learn about some economic plans from the National Council of State Legislatures that led me to introduce a bill on apprenticeship programs, because there's other states that are doing a good job and we can do better. I went to Canada, as many of you know who watch these things, for a week and came back with some ideas on financing of new infrastructure. So hopefully here in Indianapolis, I'm attending a conference called Complete College America, which is all about how we can find ways of getting students at two-year schools and four-year schools around the country to complete their education. That's apparently one of the really big issues around the nation right now, is people are going to school, they're taking out student loans, and they're not finishing school. So what does that mean? It means you're in debt more, and you don't have the education that you need to get the higher paying job that would not only allow you to pay off that debt, but live a better life. And so that leads me to talk about the workforce situation in New Mexico versus that in the country. So in the country, there's actually more people with bachelor's degrees than there are jobs for them right now. But there's not enough people with two-year degrees and technical certificates and things like plumbing, electricians, especially healthcare, nurse assistants, rad techs, those sorts of things, that it makes it really hard for people to find those folks, and so there's that imbalance. In New Mexico, we actually have a problem in both sectors. We don't have enough of the engineers and mathematicians and physicists to get the jobs at the labs, at the military bases, for engineering companies, universities, etc. And we don't have enough of the engineers, plumbers, nursing assistants, other healthcare folks to get those type of jobs. So we're really in a tough spot. So what this program focuses on is how to get folks to complete that college education. And there's a bigger picture here for me, right? So if we learn something here, and from what they learned a couple of years ago, the Secretary of Higher Education, who actually is one of Susana Martinez's people that I actually really like, started taking ideas she found out here about making sure that classes at all universities are consistent. So if I take an agriculture class at New Mexico State, I can go to Eastern New Mexico, and if it's the same type of thing, it'll fit right in. Or if I take a history class at the University of New Mexico, I can go down to Western and have that fit in there. They started that program. She learned about this here. We want to learn about more of those types of programs to allow people to consistently finish school here. Secondly, we've got to talk about financing, and so there's lottery scholarship issues out there that we might be able to do a better job at in the state. Can we change the way we do the program to allow people more flexibility to finish school? And lastly, this is the biggie for me, how does it affect governments? The governance, of universities. So we have about 17 or 18 different governance structures in the state. Are there ways of fitting those closer together to A, be more efficient, and B, have a strategy that comes out of the process? So right now, for instance, you've got some community colleges in states that are branches of bigger schools. You have others that are their own institutions. Well, which way is better? Which way allows people to complete school better? And is there going to be a need to consolidate schools? So the president of New Mexico State University, Gary Carruthers, which is in the news today, saying, hey, he thinks there's too many schools in the state. There's too few students for too many institutions. It's costing us too much money and not being effective. So these are all the questions that we've got to really start doing better to answer for higher education, because there's two things that businesses really, really want in terms of when they start and when they move into a place. They want infrastructure, water, wastewater, roads, broadband, and an educated workforce. And if we don't not doing a good job on the second tier there, we're not going to do a good job creating jobs. So as always, I really appreciate you watching this. Thanks very much. And if you have questions, comments, or concerns on these or any of the issues, I'd love to hear from you. Thanks, y'all. Have a great night. Bye.